Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. And if you don't know, Adrian Hernandez is the guy I go to for mindset. It is something I have a weakness on. It's something that I need to constantly tweak, manage, stay in front of. So, Adrian, how you doing?
Yeah, don't we all, right?
Yeah,
Don't we all?
yeah. The
I'm
the 3 inches between your ears, it could set you up or crush you. It's an amazing, amazing thing.
Absolutely. And I'm excited to get into the conversation, but happy Saturday, everybody. Let's go.
Happy Saturday on Wednesday. I love it. I love it. Hey, I've gone back here recently. I just had Anna Kelly, who's your Wednesday expert like you. She and I went back and revisited the 5 years of the Great Recession, right? 2008 to 2012. We had a little bit of PTSD. We had some fun memories, all of that. One thing that we both acknowledged was kind of twofold. And I think it's important for people to hear today. One is the headlines, the media got negative and stayed negative for years. Two, those were some of the best times to buy deals because everybody was reading the headlines. They were curled up in a ball and they didn't want to do anything. I was buying stuff at land value for years. There was nobody showing up. So I want to ask you, my mindset guy, how do you stay sharp enough, focused enough to keep moving forward when you're bombarded with bubble, crash, catastrophe, layoffs, unemployment, recession, stagflation? How do they do it, man? How do I do it?
Yeah, well, such a good question, right? Because I think we all struggle with this, right? Everybody has some sort of mind game that we all play with ourselves, right? And including me. And that's why I work on it so much, is because I believe it's a muscle, right? It really is a muscle. And the moment we stop working on that muscle, what happens? The muscle decays, right? So let's acknowledge a few things and let's get very clear on the perception here, right? We have to all understand that the news, the negativity, there's a reason for it. And that is because negative news sells 10 times more than positive news. If they were to go on the news station and just talked about them saving cats and dogs all day long, you may tune in, but you're not going to tune in for as long as, for instance, a drive-by shooting or a police chase that's occurring in downtown Los Angeles, for an example. So we have to understand what the media's job is. First of all, their job is to sell negativity, right? That's just, but point blank. And it's unfortunate because negative news is 2 times stronger and twice as out there than positive news. So the first thing that I always say is we have to learn what we put into our gas tank, for an example, right? As an analogy, I want you to think about your car. And I want you to think about the gas that you put in your car. If that gas had sugar or if that gas had salt in it, would your car run the same way? Or would you have issues? Would you have to take the car in? You probably wouldn't get very far if you put sugar in your gas tank. It would seize your engine. Well, I want you to think about the engine as your mind, and you are your car, and you are putting, every time we listen to this negativity, you are putting sugar in that gas, and all you are doing is messing up the engine, which is your mind, right? So like, I'm a firm believer on no news. Like, I delete the news app from my phone. I don't want to talk about it. Now, if there's certain financial news that I need to know, I'll hop on Zuber's channel, right? I'll hop on Yahoo Finance. I'll hop on all of these different websites to know. If it's that big of a deal, if it is to the point where there is a world catastrophe, trust me, someone will tell me. I won't need the news to let me know. Somebody will let me know. And there's Amber Alerts on our phone that are probably going to tell me if it's that bad. Right. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is control it. Right.
I like it.
We got to eliminate it. We got to control it. We got to eliminate it. We got to get rid of it. And then we have to understand what happens, a pattern interrupt when we do listen to it. Because let's make no mistake about it. It's going to be out there. It's going to be everywhere. Right. But I want you to think about the RAS for a quick example. Right. And we've talked about the RAS. It's the reticular activity sensory portion of your brain. It's one that's in essence you focus on. So if you've ever wanted to buy like let's call it a BMW, for an example, you want to buy a white BMW, and then all of a sudden you start seeing white BMWs everywhere. Right. Like, you would go to a stoplight and you see 5 white BMWs. And before, you're like, there were not 5 white BMWs, but now all of a sudden I see them. And the truth is that those white BMWs have been there all along. The only difference is your RAS is now focused and it is programmed to look for a white BMW. So when we listen to, you guys got to understand the compound effect here. When we listen to news, when we absorb it more, when we read it more, it's programming our RAS to do what?
Yeah, to find it, to look, to see it.
To find negative news. So you'll be walking down an aisleway and there will be these great inspirational sayings, but that one negative thing stands out to you. Exactly. And you're like, but you missed all of this beautiful stuff, but you only see that negative stuff. Why? It's because our RAS is programmed for that. So, and now how do you change that? You listen to more positive stuff. You literally say to yourself, I am a positive human being. I have and radiate positive thoughts, right? That's an affirmation I say to myself over and over again, because I want to program this to know positivity, search and seek positivity. Yeah. Right. And I love Gary Vee said this, make positivity louder, right? Yes. Because we really need to make positivity louder. It's not loud enough. And Agreed. That's the reason why I firmly believe that negativity is so loud. So in my mind, it's like, let's scream positivity and let's do what we can to eliminate and control the negativity.
Yeah. One of the things that I've trained myself on the last 20 some odd years, especially with real estate, it's easier for me to do with real estate, is I try to figure out how the herd is going to react. I have made a career of pivoting early, and it's right there in front of us. I can tell you right now, I experienced the last crash, which was 5 years of just negativity and negativity. I was buying stuff out of the MLS, no direct mail, no auto dialers, no driving for dollars, no, nothing. I was buying stuff out of the MLS for land value or less because everybody had their, I mean, what did you guys think? A full quarter-acre lot was going to go less than 28 grand? I mean, that's what I bought, and it had a house on it. I mean, what were you guys thinking? So again, I know what's coming. I know lots of people watching this will get swallowed up in the round of negativity. And I'm sorry, I see that as good news. Every day, more and more of my competition is going to get scared.
Great perspective.
If this goes on for 90 days, half of you are gone. If this goes on for a year, 75% of you are gone. Yep. I know that this economic hurricane, to steal Jamie Dimon's quote, is going to make most of you afraid, many of you terrified, and most of you will do nothing. And I will just take the last year, which I have prepared for, raised dry powder, got my debt structures right, and I will buy stuff hand over fist. I will raise millions of dollars in private money, paying 10% or more. Yep. And I will do it out of the, I won't even have to work that hard because everybody's going to crash, bubble, crash, la, la, la. It's coming. So I love watching the herd because it's easy for me to go the other way. I hate crowds. I hate all that stuff.
So do I.
Yeah.
So do I. And for all of you listening, right, you're like, okay, well, how do I do that? What do I need to do? Right. You need to eliminate the negativity. Buy into, like, if you understand, if we just listen to what Zuber just said, go back and listen to it again, because listen to his perspective. His perspective is, I'm going to win. When this happens, I'm going to win. The perspective isn't, oh, when this happens, oh shit. Mm-hmm. Right. And so for those of you that are thinking that, buy into a different perspective. Yeah. Buy into the fact that there is a better world, because understand this, you're going to live no matter what through this.
Yeah. We're going to come out the other side eventually.
No matter what. So are you coming out on the other side better? Is your net worth more? Do you own more property? Right. Or are you?
Yeah. Again, I want to say, to wrap this episode up, every negative article about real estate, I envision after reading it that I lost 10% of my competition.
Yeah, I love that.
That's how I see it. So I don't mind reading them. I'll read them all the time. But for me, it's like, there goes 10%. There goes 10%. Because all of you are just going to get wrapped around it, feared. You're going to roll up in a ball on the couch, eat bonbons, and watch Netflix. And I'm going to buy a lot of great assets. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
Let's go, guys. Wake up. Delete the news. Delete the app. Change the channel. If you can block the channel, block the damn channel. Do what you got to do.
There you go. Adrian, how can people find you?
Instagram @Adrian Hernandez. YouTube, type in Adrian Hernandez.
There you go, bud. Thanks.